This video will show how to set up communications between a WAGO controller and Ignition 8 using the Sparkplug B protocol. Here we've got a WAGO PFC200 Generation 2 running firmware 12. In your Ignition installation, click on the Configuration tab and then click on Install Module. You'll have to download these MQTT modules from Cirrus Link from Ignition's website, and we're going to need the MQTT engine and the MQTT distributor, which is the broker. Then scroll down and click on the MQTT distributor settings, enable the service, and click the Save button. Then we'll create a new user. We'll call it WAGO. And then to assign privileges for read-write, just type in RW hashtag. Then scroll down and go into the MQTT engine settings and just make sure that the service is running. It should be by default. Then you'll need to know the static IP address of your instance. Here it's 192.168.4.157, and we'll need that for the next step to configure our device. In eCockpit, under the View tab, click the License Management button, and here you can enter your Sparkplug license for this controller. Once you've done that, it should show up on the list, and then just go into the available licenses and create an empty project for this controller and just drag that license onto the controller. When you download this project, it'll deploy that license to this PFC200. Then go into the Web-Based Management on the controller under the Cloud Connectivity tab and select MQTT AnyCloud and change the protocol to Sparkplug. Then enter your broker's IP address here, which is the Ignition broker, and then we'll assign a group name and edge node ID here. Make sure the port is 1883 and then enter your user and password that you configured in the distributor broker earlier. Go ahead and click Submit and then reboot the controller using the Web-Based Management. So now I'll load the Sparkplug example program for eCockpit, and it's real simple. There's just a variable logger and a command handler. In the variable logger, we just have a bunch of variables defined of different data types, just for examples. And then there's collections that we're going to be grouping them into. Here we've got our variable tag assignment and variable types, our publishing and sampling intervals, and then down at the bottom, we have our function call to publish that data to the broker. I'll go ahead and download this program to the controller and run it. And then if we switch back to the cloud connectivity on the web-based management, you can see it's running, it's connected, and all three data collections are being published to our broker. You can also see the cache fill level, which is how much data the PFC is buffering if it can't find the broker. Next, we'll go into our Ignition Designer and we'll log in under our user and then create a new project, call it My Test. And then if we go under the providers, under MQTT Engine, you can see our edge node there with all of our three data collections and all the variables that are coming in. And that's really the great thing about Sparkplug is I didn't have to create these variables and define the data types and all that. It does that all automatically as part of the protocol, which saves an enormous amount of engineering effort. And it scales really well. If you've got lots of PLCs coming online, it just automatically builds your database for you. And because MQTT supports TLS encryption, now you can actually host your Ignition in the cloud on an EC2 instance, for example. I hope you've enjoyed this video.